Welcome to the June and October baby bar review. My name is Professor Fleming. We're glad to have you here today. This is a great program. The program is designed really to prepare you to practice between now and the end of June, or to practice between now and the end of October to get ready for the examinations. I also teach bar review. I've taught the California bar exam for 30 years, and I'm fluent in 15 subjects for the California bar exam. Luckily for you guys, you only have to know how many subjects? 3. Ultimately, when I see you for the bar exam, you'll have to know 15. Seems pretty ominous, right? So look how easy the baby bar is. Only 3 subjects for right now: torts, contracts, and criminal law. So today's class is pretty easy. I do almost all the work, and what we do basically today is we go through the material. We're going to start out with a review of the test, how they score the test, how the test is broken down, so you have a good idea what you're facing. This afternoon, we're going to work on multiple choice. This morning, we're going to work on essays, because as you know, the baby bar is broken out into 2 sections, right? There are 4 essays worth 50% of the test, and there's 1 in multiple choice worth 50% of the test. It's a 50-50 proposition. There's 800 points. To pass the baby bar, you need 70%. 800 points is 560. We'd like you to make sure you review all your materials. In Volume 1, we're going to be using today, this is the introduction. This is how to write an essay and how to do multiple choice. And in this book is torts. Then when we do contracts and criminal law, we use Volume 2. And then in Volume 1, Volume 2, you have all the exams going back to 2003. So you really have a whole myriad of exams. As I said, between the 2 books, Volume 1, Volume 2, and the supplement, you have over 200 practice exams, and you're only taking 4. So you're going to find student answers. They'll say at the top, it'll say student answer. In the right-hand corner, it'll say grade. I have grades in there as high as 95. Now, the highest grade you can ever score in an exam is 100. So I have 95s, 90s, 85s, 80s. You don't need 85 or 90 to pass the baby bar. How many would like 90s? You all better get your hands up right off the bat on that one, right? If you get a couple 90s, that means you could blow out a couple multiple choice. Because remember, the way it is, you don't have to pass each section. It's 560 points total out of 800 points. So if you do well on the essay, that'll pull up a low multiple choice score. You do well in the multiple choice, that'll pull up a low essay score. So we're going to start that right now. We're going to spend some time going through the baby bar, how it's broken down, how it's graded. Then it says Section 2, writing workshop, test-taking techniques. So in about a half an hour, we're going to review how to write an essay. Now, I would hope by this time you know how to write an essay. Am I convinced you've mastered it? No. No, I'm not. That's why I take the time to go back and do it again. Because it took me 6 months of my first year of law school to master the essay. My grades in my first semester of law school were C's, because I was a poli-sci history liberal arts major. So when I came to law school, I was a trained BSer. And then somebody can relate to that one. How many were poli-sci history majors, liberal arts majors? So we BS, right? We write a bunch of garbage. The problem is that on the baby bar, everything's timed. So if you're writing these long, flowery love letters, you're going to run out of time on the examination. Section 3, multiple choice. Now, we're going to get to that probably about before lunch, a little bit. After lunch, 2 hours. We're going to pound you on multiple choice, how to do them, how to break them down. I'm going to give you an approach to multiple choice. And then what we're going to do the last 3 hours today is take a multiple choice test. Don't freak out if at the end of the day you score 50%. That doesn't matter. We haven't done the review yet. Once I spend 4 days with you, and then you go home and redo them a second time, then you'll find your score will shoot up dramatically. And then when you do the practice your multiple choice, your score will increase as well. So it's a matter of just practice. And then notice Section 4 and 5, that's torts. Okay? Again, Volume 1. Page 2 says how you turn in your exams for Flemings. So you're going to write 6 essays for me, okay? And you'll be writing those probably, I would say, about a month before the test. So since this class is being recorded in early May, the baby bar is not till the last Tuesday of June. I would say probably study for May, write your exams in early June. Then give us a 2-week turnaround. You'll have your exams come back to you, and I'll show you where those exams are located. I have exams that I've selected for you. Now, I've selected exams for you that cover all the areas. So one exam might be heavily intentional tort and negligence. One exam might be products liability and contracts, formation, third-party rights, performance remedies, or criminal law, murder, burglary, theft crimes. So we got to give you a variety of exams, and you can choose which ones you want to write from the ones I'm selected for you, and that means 6 essays. Now, if you do all 6 essays and you get your critiques back, will you be getting your money's worth? Let's talk about the pass rates. So for the June baby bar, the pass rate was 22.3%, and we're on page 3. And for the October baby bar, the pass rate was 19.5. So that kind of gives you an idea of what we're dealing with here. This is not a slam dunker. Only those who are at the top of the cream of the crop are going to pass the examination. That's why you're here today. Now, over on page number 4, it says, information for successful applicants for the first-year law students examination. The Committee of Bar Examiners is pleased to inform you that's the most exciting thing you can ever get back from the examiners. We are pleased to inform you. It says if your scaled score is at least 540 but less than 560, your grades are automatically reread. Now, what they do there is if you're between 540 and 560, then a committee of the bar examiners look at your essays, they look at your multiple choice score, and they say, should this person pass? Now, that is good because what that means is people have been passing with 540, 545s, 550s, less than the 560, but they say it's overall you deserve to pass. Now, if you're 560 or above, then you're a winner, right? You pass. It's when you're below that area. Now, that should be good news for you because some of you are perfectionists. How many are my perfectionists out there? Raise your hands. You're the ones that scare me. You're not going to be perfect. You're going to make mistakes. The test is not designed for you to score 800 out of 800 points. So if you go in there and you're like, everything's got to be perfect and every T's got to be dotted and you're going to run out of time. I don't have a problem with perfectionism. To a certain extent, it's good, but it can cause you major problems on a timed examination. So don't go in there with the idea you got to write the 100 answer. Not necessary. You just got to write a passing. That's all we're looking for. Now, this student did score a 90 on question number 4. In my book, I have grades as high as 95. These are all my students, by the way. So you're going to see my student answers, 95, 90s, 85s. You score 90 on an essay, you're going to probably pass the baby bar. So at a minimum, what do we need? 560. Can we pass with less than 560? Absolutely. Now, your goal is to score at least what? 70 times 4 on the essay. That's 280. A 70 in the multiple choice, you're a winner. But you can score less than that and still pass the exam, bring up more points in one area than the other. Got it? Over on page 36. Now, this is an article called Never Rest. Let's take a look at that article. This was written by a professor who was on the committee of bar examiners. Although it might seem that grading essays is highly subjective, subjectivity has been scientifically minimized. A bar examiner reader determines a grade by comparing your essay answer to the particular answer of the bar examiners. The consensus analysis is similar to a committee's answer key, contains the issues and their point values. It's achieved after an exhaustive review of possible analysis of every question by authors, readers, and reappraisers. When a number of readers were interviewed, their responses to basic essay flaws were relatively uniform. Each applicant should know the following hotspot. Number 1, the first thing you have to do, you got to read the call to question always. Now, I'm going to explain that to you in a few minutes. When you do an essay examination on the baby bar, you're going to see what's going to happen is they're going to give you an exam like this one, okay? And if this is the June 17 baby bar, it's a criminal law exam. And at the bottom, it says, what crimes, if any, has Donna committed? And does she have any defenses? Number 2, what crimes has Alice committed? Does she have any defenses? Now, what do a lot of students do in the baby bar? They start reading the exam first. Why? You won't even know what subject it is because the bar examiners don't head note crimes. You turn over the exam, it doesn't say criminal law, torts, or contracts. You got to figure out what it is by the call of the question. Now, if the call says, what crimes has Donna committed? What crimes has Alice committed? I'm fairly confident it's criminal law, right? Then what do? I read the fact pattern. Do not read the fact pattern first, especially if you're a test panicker. Now, test panic is real. How many have test panic? Okay, don't be embarrassed. It is what it is. Okay, we all have it. And when you get in the baby bar, you're juiced up, believe me. You're like horses at Del Mar, ready to jump out, when they say go. So the reality is calm down and read the call first. That's the starting point. Number 2. Now, what this means is don't simply repeat the facts back to the reader. Why? Because the reader knows the facts. So if all you do is repeat the facts over and over again without analyzing the facts, you won't get a good score. And I'll explain that in more detail today and the rest of the 3 days. Applicants who don't know how to write waste everyone's time and energy. Hence, fact repetition without analysis is counterproductive. How long do you think the examiners spend reading your blue books? Anybody have any idea? 3 minutes. They get paid $3.75 to read your book, and they're all lawyers from San Francisco because that's where they're all graded. So if you're a practicing attorney and they give you 500 blue books and you get paid $3.75 a blue book, you're going to spend a lot of time grading that book? Anybody from the Bay Area? You know the BART, Rapid Transit, the BART? So the lawyer's probably going to work in the morning grading books on BART. 50, 55, 70, 75. You had a good night the night before, maybe a 75. Bad night the night before, 50. Number 3, think and organize before you write. Now, I'm going to give you, in a few minutes, I'm going to give you a lesson how to outline an exam. If you don't outline your exam, you're going to lose the reader. Normally, what you do on a 1-hour exam is you outline for 15 minutes and you write for 45 minutes. In contracts, you outline for 20 minutes and you write for 40. And the reason for that is contract exams have a lot of dates and transactions. They're more confusing. Number 4, arrive at a conclusion. Don't leave the reader hanging. Is he guilty, not guilty? Liable, not liable? Valid contract, not valid? Don't leave the reader like, okay, what's a conclusion? Don't be afraid to conclude. You might be wrong, but as long as your analysis is consistent, you're okay. By the way, remember, not everybody has to agree on the answer. When you look at the answer published by the baby bar, they publish 2 answers. They don't agree on the answer. Our Supreme Court, by the way, is 9 people on the court. They always agree. Most decisions are 5-4. 5 go one way, 4 go the other. They're all look at the same facts. You don't have to be right to pass the examination. Number 5, map out your thoughts. That means make sure that you don't jump around. Make sure that you're organized. He says at the bottom, a lack of organization supports a suspicion logical thinking may be missing. This is not a good impression to leave on the reader. The reader will quit on you. Top of page number 37. Look for subtle issues. Now, what are the subtle issues? They're the ones that lurk. They're hiding. Okay, they're there. So we give you an example. Negligence is a major issue, right? Murder is a major issue, right? Formation is a major issue. But maybe in the formation question, maybe they stuck in a hidden issue of a reward. Remember you guys talking about unilateral contract rewards. Or maybe in torts, under negligence, they stuck in a special duty violation of statute. Or maybe in criminal law, in murder, they stuck in felony murder rule. So if you spot murder but miss felony murder, you spot negligence violation of statute, you spot formation, miss the reward hypo, there's the subtle issue that gets you the 80 or 90. That student who picks up the subtle issues gets the highest grade. Even in law school, they get you higher grades. Now, number 7, it says be brief but complete. That means short answers get the highest grades as long as they hit all the issues and they analyze. Really long answers that lose a reader don't do very well. Super short answers that are incomplete don't do well either. So what he says here, he says, short, complete essay answers get the highest grades. They get the point quickly and move on. No exam has ever won the Pulitzer Prize, and yours won't be the first. You don't have to get hundreds. Don't have to get 90s to pass. 70 is good, but try to get to the point and don't ramble. Because if you ramble, what's going to happen on the exam? You're going to run out of time. And that's a problem on all our law school exams. They're all time. So this is his view. And he was a grader. So it's coming from the grader's mouth how to do well. Top of page number 38. Now, this is the score sheet we're going to use to grade your papers. So when you turn in your 6 essays, these are the ones we're going to use. So what we do with our graders is we look at your issues missed. We look at your law knowledge. We look at your analysis of the facts, how you respond to the call, how you allocate your time among the calls. Did you organize your thoughts? Did your presentation, did it look good? Nice head notes, nice paragraph, visually good, and then your grade. Let's go over to the next page, which is the red divider, and it says legal exam writing workshop, section 2. So we're going into the next section now, which is the writing aspect.